Wall Street insiders are buying these stocks going into the new year. Here with his list of 3 stocks insiders can't stop buying is MarketBeat analyst Thomas Hughes. Thomas, there are quite a few inside buys happening right now. Let's first talk about what are inside buys.
Insider buys are buys by any person, individual, or institution that qualifies under SEC rules. That typically means executives, CEO, CFO, vice presidents, anybody with inside knowledge of the business's operations that might not be made public. Also, institutions and analysts, and even to a degree, Congress people, because they do have some insider knowledge, not necessarily of the business, but of conditions that the businesses are operating in. But what we're looking at are the buys of people who have insider knowledge or knowledge that is not readily available to other portions of the investment community.
And how are you finding this information? Is there a tool on MarketBeat that can help?
MarketBeat has tons of tools to find information about these things. The tool that I used specifically today was the insider buying tracker, and the tracking page will track stocks that are being bought by insiders, but also specifically stocks that are being bought just by CEOs.
Now, that tool can also help you track which stocks insiders are abandoning. We have a free special report right now that shows 12 stocks corporate insiders are abandoning. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to check out that free report and see which 12 stocks corporate insiders are abandoning most right now. Let's start out with your first pick of 2025. Which is the biggest insider buy stock that you have right now?
Vestas is the most bought by insiders for the last year. Vestas is a spinoff from Aramark. It's their uniform business. Now it's a standalone company. It's competing with UniFirst and Cintas. It's about the same size as UniFirst. It's about a sixth the size of Cintas. One of the opportunities here is that it's a potential takeover candidate.
So, what does that mean for the growth of the stock price?
Some of the chatter is that the stock is about 15 to 25% undervalued relative to a potential takeover price. Not counting that potential for takeover, this industry is well positioned for cash and cash flow. If you look at Cintas, it's been producing really awesome cash flow for about 3 decades, uses that money to pay dividends, buy back shares. Its stock price has been going just pretty much straight up, as straight up as it possibly can be. Vestas is in that group. It's been improving its balance sheet and preparing itself for capital returns. It already pays a nice dividend, but what I see here is the potential for share buybacks to begin sometime soon if it's not taken over or taken private.
And what kind of insider buys are we seeing with Vestas?
So Vestas has 9 insiders that have been buying for the last year. They've made more than a dozen purchases. They've been pretty regular throughout the year, and they're pretty widespread. It shows a pretty good amount of conviction within this group that the stock is worth buying.
I think you have put Vestas as a pretty solid buy for investors right now, but your second pick of a stock that insiders are buying is a little bit more of a wild card.
Yeah, it is. Opco Health. It has quite a few potential catalysts coming up. One of them is potential for takeover. It's also got a couple of candidates or drug therapies that have been gaining traction. They're making some revenue. But the real problem with this stock is that it's not making money. And even with these new positive developments, it's going to be a while before it's profitable. Its balance sheet is not in the greatest condition. It's had to sell a lot of shares over the last year to raise capital. So dilution is a real threat. So in this case, the insiders buying is a vote of confidence, but it could also just be them trying to support the stock price in the interim until one of these other catalysts can start taking control of the market.
Yeah, that's definitely a risk sometime with these insider buys. Is it just trying to support the stock more? Who are the insiders buying the stock?
Well, like with Vestas, it's a wide range of insiders. We're tracking 7 insiders who've made 24 purchases in the last year, so they've all made more than one buy. They are certainly showing a high amount of conviction in the stock, but there are some significant risks that investors need to keep in mind.
Yeah, let's talk about what kind of growth potential this stock could have. What are analysts saying?
The analysts see quite a bit of upside potential. The stock could rise 30 to 40% if we get one of those catalysts. But as I said, it just depends on if it gains enough traction to start making money soon enough for the market to stay interested.
Well, let's move on to your third pick of insider buys. This is a company we haven't covered before.
No, this is Greif. They're an industrial packaging company, so they make things like jerry cans and plastic barrels and oil cans and other services involved with storing industrial products.
So, who are the insiders buying this stock and why are they buying it?
A wide variety of insiders making numerous purchases over the past year. Um, They are certainly helping to support the stock price. If you look at the chart, you can see it's been range bound for about 2 years, but it's got a pretty solid floor. And that floor is put in place by the insiders, but also by the institutions and the analysts who can be considered insiders. They've both been buying the stock. The analysts are pretty bullish on it, and they see it rising about 30%. That aligns with the trading range. So it looks like this stock could hit a bottom fairly soon and start rebounding.
Well, how can investors time this kind of a stock buy?
Well, you're going to want to watch the charts. You're going to want to pick out some pretty good technical entry points and then wait for the market to reach those points and to start showing a signal. That signal will be shown in the price action and the indicators, and it should align with a bottom and a bit of a rebound. You're going to want to see some volume also in this move to help solidify the bottom and to help add some strength to the market and provide some more upside momentum once the price starts to move higher.
Now, you've already mentioned some of the risk, but let's talk to investors. Any of these three picks, or looking at any stocks that insiders are buying right now, what are the potential risks or benefits?
So there certainly are a lot of benefits to following the insider trades. There's not a lot of reasons for an executive to want to buy a stock if the company's doing badly. So even in the case where the insiders might be trying to support the price action, is still a bit of an affirmation in the company's outlook for them to be buying. So the real risk is that you look at companies with insiders buying that don't really have the fundamental outlook for growth or for business strength that a good investment would have. So like any indicator, you're going to want to use the insider buying as a starting off point for your investment research, but then go from there and look at the other fundamental factors that make a good investment. And if those things align, then it's probably going to be a pretty good buy.
Some good advice for investors. As always, Thomas, thank you so much for your time today and for sharing these three picks of big insider buy stocks right now. Thanks again for joining us here on Market Beat. As always, happy investing, especially in the new year.